What if the most scrutinized basketball prospect in history chose development over destiny? In June 2024, Bronny James, son of LeBron James, declared for the NBA draft after just one freshman season at USC. The Lakers drafted him 55th overall, creating the first father-son duo in NBA history. But the critics were relentless. Nepotism, unearned, a publicity stunt. But what if Bronny had made a different choice? What if he had stayed in college, silenced the doubters, and built his own legacy? Could he have become a lottery pick? Would LeBron have retired without ever playing alongside his son? The alternate timeline where Bronny James bet on himself is more fascinating than you think. It's April 2024. Bronny James is sitting in a room with his family, his agents, and his USC coaches. He's coming off a freshman season that was, to put it bluntly, underwhelming. 4.8 points per game, 36% shooting, 26% from three. These are not NBA-ready numbers, but Bronny wasn't a normal prospect. He was LeBron James' son, and that came with expectations, pressure, and opportunities that no other player in history has ever faced. He had also suffered a cardiac arrest just months before the season, which robbed him of his explosiveness and conditioning. Many scouts believe that with another year of development, Bronny could become a legitimate NBA prospect on his own merit, not just because of his last name, but in our reality, Bronny declared anyway. The Lakers drafted him. The critics pounced. The debate raged on. But what if he had taken the harder path? What if, in that April meeting, Bronny looked at his father and said, "I'm staying"? In this alternate reality, Bronny announces in April 2024 that he's returning to USC for his sophomore season. The reaction is immediate. ESPN analysts praise the decision. This is what maturity looks like, they say. Bronny is putting in the work to earn his spot, not riding his father's coattails. The narrative shifts overnight. Instead of being seen as a nepotism case, Bronny is now the humble kid who chose the harder path. At USC, head coach Eric Musselman builds the entire offense around Bronny. With a full offseason to recover from his cardiac episode, Bronny comes back stronger, faster, and more confident. His sophomore year is a revelation: 14.2 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 42% from the field, 37% from three. USC makes the tournament as a 5 seed, and Bronny leads them to the Sweet 16 with a 28-point performance against Duke in the round of 32. Suddenly, Bronny isn't just LeBron's son. He's a legitimate NBA prospect. Mock drafts have him going in the late first round, maybe even the mid-first round. But here's where it gets interesting. LeBron is now 40 years old. He's entering what could be his final season in the NBA. The clock is ticking. Does Bronny declare after his sophomore year to play with his dad? Or does he stay another year to solidify his draft stock? The answer will surprise you. Let's talk about what this decision means for LeBron James. In our reality, LeBron got to play with Bronny in 2024. It was a beautiful moment, a historic moment, but it was also bittersweet. Bronny barely played, averaging just 3.8 minutes per game in his rookie season. Critics questioned whether he even belonged in the NBA. The father-son narrative was overshadowed by the nepotism debate. But in this alternate timeline, LeBron doesn't get that moment. At least, not right away. LeBron is 40 years old in the 2024 to 2025 season. He's still playing at a high level, but the end is near. He publicly states that he wants to play with Bronny before he retires, but he also respects his son's decision to stay in school. "I'm proud of him for betting on himself," LeBron says in a press conference. "That's what I taught him." The Lakers, meanwhile, are in a different position. Without the pressure to draft Bronny in 2024, they used their 55th pick on a different player, maybe a sharpshooter or a defensive specialist, They're not tied to the Bronny narrative, which means they can make basketball decisions purely on merit. But here's the twist. If Bronny stays in college through his junior year, LeBron might retire before they ever play together. LeBron has said he wants to play with his son, but he's also said he won't play forever. If Bronny isn't NBA ready until 2026, LeBron might be gone by then. So the question becomes, does LeBron extend his career, playing into his 40s just to wait for Bronny? Or does he retire on his own terms, knowing that his son will make it to the NBA eventually, just not alongside him? The pressure would have been unimaginable. Let's fast forward. It's June 2026. Bronny James declares for the NBA draft after 3 years at USC. He's now a 21-year-old prospect with 3 years of college experience, a Sweet 16 run, and an Elite 8 appearance. He's averaged 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in his junior year. He's a first-team All-Pac-12 selection. He's projected to go in the top 20 picks, maybe even the lottery. This is a completely different Bronny James. He's not a project. He's not a nepotism pick. He's a legitimate NBA player who earned his spot through development, hard work, and patience. The Lakers still have interest, but so do a dozen other teams. The Spurs, the Thunder, the Magic. Teams with young cores who see Bronny as a perfect complementary piece. He's a high IQ point guard who can defend, facilitate, and knock down open shots. He's exactly what modern NBA teams are looking for. And here's the kicker. If Bronny goes to a different team, he gets to build a different legacy. He's not LeBron's son who plays for the Lakers. He's Bronny James, starting point guard for the San Antonio Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder or whoever drafts him. He gets to be his own player, not just an addition to his father's story, and even now in our reality. Who's to say Bronny can't still do that? The story of Bronny James and LeBron James is one of the most unique in sports history. But the story of what could have been, the story of Bronny choosing patience over pressure, is a tantalizing glimpse into an alternate reality where a young man carved a different path to greatness. So, what do you think? Should Bronny have stayed in college? Could he have become a lottery pick on his own merit? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations into the biggest what-ifs in sports history. Next time, we ask, what if the Seahawks ran the ball?